Welcome back, everybody. We've got offensive coordinator, offensive line coach Mike Bloesch here ahead of Cal's visit to SMU this Saturday. We'll go ahead and get started with questions from Jeff Retto from Cal Bears on SI. Go ahead, Jeff.
Mike, I think SMU had 9 sacks on Saturday against Virginia. Can you just talk about the challenge that front seven poses to you guys?
Yeah, they're really good. They have a ton of talent, and when you look at their roster, it is a very experienced roster. I mean, senior, Latin, juniors, guys that have played a lot of football, transfers, and depth. You know, they're rolling a lot of guys up front. They're playing fresh legs on the D line. Very, very impressive on film. Obviously, for us, you know, we've got to stay out of those predictable situations and then do a good job of making sure that we can get the ball out quick.
I believe you made another change or two on your O-line last week. Bastion was playing, and are you still missing again your big guard? I'm blanking. Vaticani, yes.
Yeah, Vaticani was unavailable last week. We got Bastion back, so Bastion was able to slide back into his right guard spot, and we were able to move TJ back out to right tackle. So the revolving door continues.
Is Sioapi going to be available this week?
We're day-to-day with him. He is practicing, and we're trying to get him ready to go.
Is this the same injury he previously had?
Different one.
So he's had like 3 different things.
Yeah, it's been a tough season for him.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any more questions? Matt Reno, Cal Rebels.
After the game, Coach Wilcox mentioned that you guys have been working on trying to push the ball down the field. You know, what kind of unlocked that in this game for you guys last week? And was it something you guys put a concerted effort into, or was it just kind of how things played out and what you guys were seeing from Stanford?
Yeah, a lot of it was predicated off of how Stanford was playing us, especially on that last drive. They played a lot of man coverage, and actually the game-winning touchdown, they went cover 0. So they brought 7 guys. We had 6 in protection. Fernando did a great job of standing in there and staring down the barrel of the free hitter, and Jonathan Brady did an awesome job of winning on his route. So they definitely gave us that opportunity and tried to force our hand there on that last drive, and our guys did a really good job of making plays against some tough looks and some all-out blitz.
It felt like the one thing missing from Fernando was kind of leading a game-winning drive or leading a huge drive like he had on that 98-yarder. What was kind of your overall feel for just how that all played out and you know what it meant to you guys offensively?
Yeah, it was awesome. And I think more than anything, I was just proud of their belief and their fight all the way through the finish. You know, there was a time that Coach pointed out on Sunday in the team meeting, I think it was 6 minutes left in the third quarter. We had just fumbled the kickoff return, and we were, you know, in a bad spot as a football team. And for our team to just, you know, buckle down and fight, scratch and claw and find a way to win that game. I think it's a testament to our culture. It's a testament to the guys we have in that locker room and the confidence they have, you know, that they can go out and no matter what, as long as there's time on the clock, we feel like we're in the game. And especially in that game, to do that for Fernando was huge. I think you're right. You know, as a young quarterback leading your team down the field in that situation and getting the win, I think was part of why you saw how emotional he was after the game.
Steve Croner, Essex Chronicle.
You know, my 2-part question, and I asked Justin on one part of this about Chandler Rogers, a guy who came to Cal, I'm sure, expecting to play a lot more than he has. And he had a very big play that kind of got overlooked after the drive. So, A, how have you appreciated his demeanor throughout the season? And B, I know you guys have used a few wrinkles with him and Fernando on the field. Can we expect that this Saturday and in whatever bowl game you do?
Yeah, I can't say enough good things about Chandler. You mentioned it. He's a 6-year senior. He's played a lot of football. He's had a ton of success and came in here to compete for the starting job. And I know it hasn't worked out the way that he wanted it to, but he has never deviated from who he is as a person, his work ethic, his mentality. and he's been an unbelievable teammate. He does anything we ask him to do. And for him to come in, we felt like in that 4-minute situation, we knew we had to run the ball. We knew we had to get a first down, and whether we were going to run him or not, the first play we handed to Jaden for a 7-yard gain, but just the threat of having him out there with some quarterback run stuff, we felt like would help us in that situation. And then, like you said, the third down quarterback counter going to get that game-winning first down so that we could get in the victory formation was huge.
And then just follow. I know at Wake Forest you did it, and I think you did it in the big game as well.
Yeah. So
it seems like you've been close to kind of getting a really big play out of that, but it hasn't quite worked. Is that fair?
Yeah, we're putting together a little. It's a fun package. The guys enjoy it, and it's something that we'll continue to build off of for sure.
Great. Thank you, sir.
We'll head back to Matt.
After the game, Jonathan Brady, we asked him, like, can you break down your 2 touchdowns? And he's like, I can't. I blanked out. I just don't remember them. And what can you say just about his play and his ability to make big plays in those moments?
Yeah, he played unbelievable. And, everybody saw kind of the step up in the end of that touchdown. But if you watch the route that he ran on that first touchdown, I mean, it was he made the defender fall on the ground. So he played with great technique, great speed all day. I think he's just gaining confidence. And that game, when you're able to make plays like that in that game, in that environment, I think, man, he's gonna really take that momentum and run with it moving forward. I've been so proud of him. He's a guy that's done nothing but work extremely hard since he's been here. He's humble, but he's also hungry to get better every single day.
It's easy to see those plays and remember those from that game. And I asked Coach Wilcox about maybe some unsung heroes that we didn't notice during that game. Were there any of those on offense that you really point to and look at, when you look back at that game?
Yeah, I mean, we gave a game ball to Jack Injuries. We thought he had his best game blocking that he's had of the season. And so, Jack obviously has gotten a ton of attention this year for what he's done as a pass catcher, but he had his best game blocking and still made some big plays, including the 4th down conversion to keep the drive alive. So, again, it's something that we've talked about a lot offensively, and each game kind of takes you down a different path. It's different guys stepping up. It's depending on how the defense is playing you. It's depending on game plan, what we've got in. But I've just been so proud of our guys on offense for staying the course. Everybody's in it together, pulling the rope in the same direction and being happy for each other, whether Jack has 10 catches for 100 yards or 3 catches and has his best game blocking. Everybody's trying to do whatever it takes to win.
That 4th down conversion, it felt like the game maybe teetered on that being converted. How important, as you look back, was that play?
Yeah, it was huge. It was huge. We knew in that situation we had to convert right there. We had a play that we have repped a ton, and our guys, have a ton of confidence in, and we had a couple guys open there. Protection was solid, and Fernando was able to get really all the way through his progression and find Jack.
We'll circle back to Steve.
Ferrado was asking this of Justin. I think probably you would have as good a perspective on it as any about the Cal connection to the state of Texas and how you guys have gotten a lot of players from Texas. I believe you have a lot of experience there. What do you think the allure is of Cal for kids who play football in Texas in high school?
Yeah, I just say there's so many good football players in Texas, and the brand of high school football down there, you get really good developed players out of the Texas high schools. And I think, even before I got here, the Cal roster had, I was surprised when I first got to Cal how many Texas guys were on the roster. And then obviously since I've been here and Coach Gilbert's been here and we've had some more Texas connections on our roster, we've added even more. But I think once you have those guys and then you start to recruit the next batch of Texas kids out to California and they feel comfortable with, there are 20, 25 guys in the locker room that are from Texas, and I'm not going to be the outlier out here on the West Coast. And then with the way that conferences have realigned, I mean, we're getting to go back to Texas and play on Thanksgiving, which, that's a big selling point for kids. And now really it doesn't matter where you play, you're going to travel all over the country anyway. So I think you're going to see kind of more more kids spread out across the country just because of it used to be a lot more regional in recruiting with, hey, I'm from the South, I want to play in the Big 12. And well, the Big 12 now goes from Salt Lake City to Orlando, Florida. I want to play in the SEC is probably as close as it gets to being in its own region, but every other conference in the country is literally nationwide. So you're going to see more and more players not necessarily be as concerned with what region they're playing in, but more where's the best fit for me to get on the field, play, where can I be around a coaching staff that's going to, take care of me, develop me. And so that's what I think we offer here at Cal for those kids from Texas.
Thank you, sir.
Ron Krojcik from the SF Chronicle.
You kind of answered part of my question there at the end there. I was just sort of curious how the change from the Pac-12 to the ACC affects the recruiting dynamic. And as you mentioned, everything's more coast to coast. When you go into a Texas kid's home now, how is that a different pitch, I guess, now that it's not all on the West Coast, the fact that you do have games back there?
Yeah, I think, like I said, the biggest thing in recruiting is I think people are starting to realize with the portal and the way that there's players moving across the country is it's not about necessarily where you're at, it's who you're with. And so that's what we're trying to sell here at Cal is the people in this building, the consistency that we've had with Coach Wilcox here, and just a great support staff around the players, obviously being able to get an education from the #1 public school in the United States of America. But we have a lot to sell here. And I think it's become easier because of, the conference realignment and the fact that they're not going to be just stuck out on the West Coast every Saturday and their families are going to be able to see them play all over the country.